Hey guys, Karai Ito here, and I'm going to show you the basics of Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, we all know a little bit about the basics of Yu-Gi-Oh! And yes, professionals already know the basics of Yu-Gi-Oh! But this is more of a video meant for the people that are starting Yu-Gi-Oh! It's kind of a video that teaches you of how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! For beginners. Now, basically, let's start it off just as quick as we can here. We've got the deck zone right here, and this always goes right here. Okay? Now you can see professionals, they'll place their deck here in tournaments, they'll place their deck here or whatever. It goes here for beginners, okay? Not for just professionals, but for beginners. It goes here. Extra deck zone goes here and always goes here. You never put these two together, okay? Even if people have this weird tension thinking that rituals go into the extra deck. Now, I've heard a lot of people say this, and it's really not that hard, but rituals don't go in the extra deck. Okay, they go in the deck. And then you use the spell cards to get them from the hand. So, yeah, that's how rituals work. You never summon them from the deck or extra deck. And a lot of people get confused that you can just special summon the rituals from the deck. Doesn't work like that. Okay. So let's start off things with drawing 5 cards, because that's what it would be. Okay. So I'm the first turn player. I don't get to draw. Okay. So these are the new rules of Yu-Gi-Oh! That they came up with when Arc 5 came out with the new pendulums. Now, if you're the first turn player, you only draw 5 cards, and you don't even get to draw. Like, draw for your normal draw. And during your draw phase, if this was like not the new Yu-Gi-Oh! Rulings, you would draw 1 card from your deck. But that's not what it's like anymore, and I don't know why they changed it. Probably for just a little bit of the rulings of that you can get a really big advantage with only using 6 cards in your hand. But anyways, let's start things off. So I'll name off the cards that are in my hand. We've got 2 monsters here, okay? 2 monsters. And what kind of monsters are they? They are effect monsters. Okay? Now, you can play these monsters. Now, you can't just summon these though, because they are level 8. Now, if these were level 4 or lower, which would only have that many stars or lower, you could just normal summon these, unless if the effect says that you can't normal summon them. But these ones have effects, and you have to either play by them or have other effects to bring them out. Now, I'm going to play my monster effect, okay? Now, people think that this is a special summon, but not just any special summon. They don't think this is an inherent summon, but this is an inherent summon. And what inherent summons are cards that summon themselves. If you have a monster that says basically what Machina Cannon says, which it says, cannot be normal summoned or set, must first be special summoned from your hand by sending 1 or more machine-type monsters from your hand to the graveyard. This card gains 800 attack for each card sent to the graveyard for this special summon. This is an inherent special summon. Now, counter trap cards like Blackhorn of Heaven only negate inherent summons. They only negate special summons that your opponent would play. So, we're going to play this card. So, I have a machine. It's known as Gimmicko Magneton. Send it to the graveyard. Special summon. Now, you can only summon 5 monsters, because there are only 5 monster card zones. Also, you can summon in 2 ways, especially for a special summon. For a special summon, you can summon it in attack or defense. For normal summons, you would have to summon in attack. But there is another thing. You can also set, which is the same thing as a counted normal summon, which you just set it face down. in face down defense position. Now, a lot of people say you can summon it in defense mode. Don't listen to those. You cannot normal summon in defense mode. It's from the anime, it's not in the real game. You cannot summon in defense mode. So we're going to special summon this in defense mode. Then we are going to have spells and trap cards. Now, spells can easily be played, but there are different effects and different things you have to know about spell and trap cards. Now, first off, this is a spell card. It is a quick play spell card because of that icon you see right there. This is a normal spell card because it has no icon. And this is a continuous trap card because it has that icon. Now, what this means is, okay, we'll start with a quick play first because these are ones of the easiest. Okay, so quick play spell cards. Now, these can be played on any time you want in any of your phases. Okay? Only on your turn. Okay? So, like let's say I summon this in attack mode. Okay? Now there are phases. The draw phase, which we just talked about. If you go first, you technically don't get to draw for your draw phase. Then there's a standby phase, which nothing happens usually except for card effects that say they happen on standby phase. Then there's the main phase, where we play cards, like Machina Cannon, and we play spells and traps. Okay, first off, here's the thing about spells. You can activate them from the hand all you want, but if you want to set them, there is a problem, okay? You can set a normal spell card, or a field spell card, or a continuous spell card, or even a equip spell card. Here's the funny thing. You can activate any type of spell card that is face down even at the turn you set it, except for quick plays. You cannot set a quick play and then just activate it. And that's because quick plays are counted as trap cards when they are set, because they can be used on your opponent's turns. Now, you can set it for your opponent's turn, and then right when they draw or activate an effect, you can use this. Okay? That's just the little thing you guys need to know about quick play spell cards. Because a lot of people, I've seen a lot of new people try and think that Mystical Space Typhoon can be played when it's set and then just activated. People also think that Mystical Space Typhoon also negates. No, it does not negate. Okay? Mystical Space Typhoon has one simple effect. Destroy one spell and trap card on the field and destroy that target. There is no way how this thing negates. And the only reason why it doesn't negate is because of the wording on it. If it said negate on it, it would negate, but it doesn't negate. However, there are chain links and game mechanics. So if, let's say, my opponent or somebody, okay, if my opponent had this face down, so let's just put it here, I guess, had this face down, right? And he tries to chain this, okay? Then I chain Mystical Space Typhoon. It gets destroyed, okay? Guess what? He doesn't get the effect because continuous and field spells and equip spells all have to be face up to resolve. Unless if they have an effect that says they don't have to be face up to resolve. But all continuous and face up field spells and continuous all have to be face up on the field in order to resolve, making it Mystical Space Typhoon, making it quicker, and since it's Chain Link 2, and I'm going to explain chain links here very, very soon, but Mystical Space Typhoon would go first, and it resolves first, making Marshalling Field, its effects, completely pointless. But there's a second part as well. Marshalling Field has a graveyard effect. This is where it's going to get really complicated. So I don't know if you can see this, but I can read it to you. You cannot special summon monsters except machine type monsters. Once per turn, you can declare a level from 5 to 9. All level 5 or higher machine type monsters you can control become that level. If a machine type exceeds monster you can control would be destroyed, you can send this card to the graveyard instead. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 rank up Magic Argent Chaos Force from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Okay, so since this left the field, if my opponent has rank up Magic Argent Chaos Force, they can just instantly add it back. The only effect that this doesn't get is the level changing effect, because it would have been face up, and since Chainlink 2 resolved with Mystical Space Typhoon, this doesn't work. So that's it for that. Time for chains. Chainlinks, as long as, yeah. Okay, so let's search out for a card that's going to give us a lot of chainlinks. Yeah, let's go for Druidol and Call Haunted. And you know what? Yeah, let's also search for that card as well. Forgot to search for it. Almost. Solid Warning. Okay. Okay. So, I'm going to show you how Chainlinks work now. And we're just going to send that to grave because it's completely pointless. Okay, so I'm going to have... Actually, no, let's start off with the bottomless first. Yeah, I'm going to have a set bottomless. My opponent has a set called the Haunted. Okay. And they also have this in the grave. Okay. Okay, so let's start off things with first. So let's say I had Magnet Doll face up. It has a string counter on it, which is from the effect of C40. Okay? So, I'm in my battle phase. I'm about to attack. So I go to battle phase, I go into attack declaration, attacking him directly. He chains with Call the Haunted. Okay? His monster then comes back and activates its effect. Its effect is when it's special summoned, it destroys all monsters with string counters. And then you get to draw a card. And it inflicts damage to me equal to the damage of monsters that were destroyed with the highest attack. And that's a then effect. And I'm going to explain the when and then later on, but not in this video. That's missing the timing, and it's going to be in a different video. But anyways, his effect activates. I chain. Bottomless Trap Hole. Okay? This is how this stuff works. Okay, so people are saying that when Bottomless is activated, and when there's a card with a summoning effect that says when it's normal summoned or special summoned, they don't get their effects because Bottomless was activated and makes it get banished. No. Okay, there's little things you should know. Okay, first off, C40 does get its effect, and here's how. So, he activated Call the Haunted, bringing back his monster. His monster then activates Chainlink 2. Okay, my card then activates, making Chainlink 3. And the reason why this all happens is because basically mine resolves first. Sure, his gets banished, and Call the Haunted would stay face up. Okay, because Call the Haunted, when the monster is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, basically his monster would, it's banished. So that's how that works. And actually, wait, hold on, no. Call the Haunted would go. Sorry about that, guys. Call the Haunted would go because Bottomless just does destroy it. Bottomless does destroy it, and then it banishes the monster, so the monster gets banished. And then C40 would resolve. Destroyed. And that's how that would work. They would get to draw a card, and I would still take damage. Because C40 doesn't have to be face up on the field to resolve. It could be special summoned and then leave the field, and as long as you don't negate the effect, it still resolves. Okay, that's one. we're going to do the same thing, except there's going to be a little bit of differences here. Graveyard. Okay, I'm going into the attack. I'm going to go to attack Declaration. He's going to activate his trap card. Call the Haunted. Bring back his monster. Okay, his monster is going to activate. Of course, again, this time I'm not using Bottomless though. I'm using Solemn Warning. Now, this is how this would work. His monster doesn't even get summoned. No, his monster stays in the graveyard because Solemn Warning activates, and I pay 2,000 life points to negate either when a monster would be special summoned or when a spell and trap card or an effect monster activates that has an effect that special summons. So, I pay 2,000 my life points. This goes to grave, and I attack him directly. Now, here's another thing about counter trap cards that you guys should know. When a counter trap card is activated, people cannot chain with counter trap cards except with counter trap cards. Which means if I play Solemn Warning, the only way he's going to be able to get rid of my Solemn Warning is if he plays another counter trap card. And that is it. Now, another thing about Warning is that people think when the monster's negated its summon and it has a graveyard effect, it's not going to get its graveyard effect. Now, it all depends on what the graveyard effect says. But if it says if this card is sent to the graveyard, then it would activate. Because of this, Solemn Warning just negates the summon and destroys the card. Doesn't say anything about the monster's effect getting negated. So the monster's effect would still apply. Okay, that's it for now. And one more thing that I am going to show special for you guys. That for you beginners, this is actually probably a little special, if not boring as hell. But I'm going to show you an Xyz summon because this is what this deck is made of. And yeah, you know, it's my favorite deck. I want to show you an Xyz summon. So let's just use 2 cards. Okay. Yeah, we just need these 3 cards and all we really need. For my Xyz summon at least. Okay. So I play Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty activates, and when it is summoned, so normal or special summoned, I can special summon 1 Gimmick Puppet from my hand. So I'm going to special summon Dreary Doll. Okay? Now, I'm going to play Machine Duplication. I select a machine type with 500 or less in attack. And I special summon all copies from my deck. So I'm going to select Dreary Doll. One and 2. Okay. Next, I overlay my 3 level 8s. Order to summon. Number 88, Gimmick Puppet of Leo. Okay, so that is it for now, guys. I hope you guys learned a lot. It might have showed the video not as much as it used to. I hope I gave out most of the information you need to know. If I will do more videos on the zones because this wasn't really a video for zones. This was more of a video to show you how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And the basic rulings. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I will be making more videos for this. And this was a very good video for Yu-Gi-Oh! Ruling Handbook. I'll see you guys later.